Hello my lovely friends. Welcome to today's video. I am Lisa of Island Alice, for those of you that are new. And today, boy that, that sounded really formal, didn't it? Yeah. I've been watching and listening to other people talking about how to make a successful YouTube video. I can totally feel my face starting to burn up here. Anyways, they're always like, you should start the video with a very pleasant hello, introduce yourself, where you're from, and so this is like my 6th time. And I'm like, hello. It feels weird. Eventually I will get used to this, I promise. So thanks for bearing with me on my very awkward introductions. So today's video, I want to talk about when you make a journal, and can we just talk about this for a minute? I don't want to say that I'm overly picky, but I will admit to being somewhat particular about the way my journals sit and the way they work for me, right? You would think that just stitching a bunch of pieces of paper together would be easy peasy, and you'd be like, great, I have a journal, I'm done, it's all good. Not the case. So what I wanted to do was today, I made this journal for February, for mostly for the winter, January and February, maybe into March. So for those of you that don't know, I'm also a huge fan of Halloween. So I'm always trying to figure out ways that I can make Halloween last long into the year. And one of the ways that I can do that is by making myself sort of dark and creepy and spooky journals. So I have a lighthearted winter journal, and I also have this, which is my dark spooky journal that I've just basically filled full of dark paper, gray paper, nothing really fancy, but I just made it so that it was a bit gloomy. And because of, I like gloomy winter. Gloomy winter is my jam, right? Because, yeah, I love Halloween, as I said. And so, anyway, so I was thinking about how to make my dark winter gloomy journal super gloomy. And one of the things that I also thought I would like to add would be a lot of cardstock. And I like the feel of cardstock. I like writing on cardstock. I just really enjoy it. So I thought, I'm going to fill this journal full of thicker paper, but I've also got stuff that like this that I've printed off. A few used book pages, not a ton, but a few. And so when I put this together, I was like, oh my God, I love it. It's so good. Like, it's got all the elements in here that I'm looking for. And I was just so excited to get in it, to start gluing stuff in it. And I thought, I'm going to do some stenciling. I'm going to get brave and get out some color sprays. And like, I was all in, right? So I started. And I get the first first 2 pages, and I've got my full moon in here, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love it on the dark paper. And then I put in one of my postcards, and all of a sudden I was like, wait, and I'm really fighting with it to keep it, to try and get it to lay flat. Total rookie mistake, right? So as the next day I go in it and I want to write in it, and I'm clamping it down, and I'm trying, you can see, of course, right? And I was like, this isn't going to work for me. Like, I don't want to be the princess in the pea too much. But I'm like, this is not going to work. It's already feeling super chunky, and like, it's just, I'm not digging this. I gotta be honest. It's just not, it's not gonna work. So I was telling my friend Katrina about this, and she was like, oh, well, did you know, to help with that problem, all you have to do is loosen the binding. Sorry, I catch myself. I'm not looking where I'm supposed to be looking. Anyways, she's like, loosen your binding. And I was like, ooh, I had not heard of that. So I checked, and looks like I can loosen this knot. If I can't, I'm just going to cut the thread, of course. But I was saying to her, while I'm watching all these other people when they make their videos, and they're like, make sure you tie it really tight. Like, tie it tight, tight, tight. You don't want anything to fall out. So I'm always just, I practically have my foot in there trying to tie my binding as tight as possible. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to do a face-to-face with you, sort of show you the journal, explain what I was doing and why. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and we're going to see what happens together when I loosen the thread, and see if that gives me anything a little bit more flat. Because if it doesn't, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it apart, and I will use my bone folder again and see if I can really, really flatten this cardstock. Because I really would like a journal full of cardstock. I'm not going to lie. I would like it to be really thick that way. Yeah. Anyways, if I cannot make this flat the way that, so I'm not struggling. I know eventually journals, obviously, they don't stay flat. But I figure this early in the game, it's already annoying me, so I've got to change something. If I can't get it to do what I want it to do, I'm going to use my binding machine, and I'll put in a metal coil instead. So let's turn the camera around and see what happens when we play with it a little bit. Okay, so here we are, and it looks like I'm just going to be able to pull this out. Oh no, maybe, oh yeah. Okay, so I'm not 100%. Let's see if I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this, so I will edit some of this out. But let's see if I give it a really good push down with my bone folder here. Okay, so I went and used my bone folder all the way through on the first side without changing anything with my string here, and it's still pretty, not flat. So, I don't know if loosening up, so let's see here, I'm going to pull this and pull this. To be honest with you, I haven't done any research on this. I haven't done any Googling, only because I wanted to sort of see as a sort of newbie if I could figure this out. And I don't know if that's still not really giving me, what I'm sort of after here. So I think the decision will have to be made. If I want to have this journal with all of this thickness in it, prior to even putting things in it, then I suppose at this point it would be wise for me just to put it in. So I had made a book here, another book to use as a day timer, and I have this black 3/4 inch wire binding. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to cut these pages. And I might actually, if I'm going to do that, then I think that would change the entire journal, but in a good way. I think that it will, I think I'm going to add some bigger pages and give myself a little bit more variety. And I think I'm just going to play with this and see what I can come up with. Sorry, I am not doing a very good job of keeping this in frame. Oh my goodness, thank you for putting up with my newbie issues here while making a video. So anyways, let's do that. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed that this is doing what it's doing. And it's not unusual for journals, but in the interest of just experimenting and not getting hung up on what idea, I think I'm just going to try and I'm going to try something. Because really that's what this should all be about, is not getting hung up and being like, oh, I didn't do this right. I've got to stick with it because it's what I made, and because I have a tendency to overthink that. I avoid the idea that I've made a mistake. So I think in the interest of not getting stuck and attached to one idea, I'm going to try this again. So I will come back and show you in a little bit once I've taken this all apart. And yeah, let's see what we can come up with, because I want to be excited about working in my journal, and I want it to be let's be honest. We have enough problems in life and things that go wrong. Our journal should not be one of them. So let's have a little bit of fun and see what I can redo. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so here we are back. I've redone my journal. As you can see, I put a wire binding on it. So I know that not everybody has the ability to redo a journal with a wire binding. But I've been thinking, I was thinking about that when I was putting this together. But really my hope is that with this video, that if you too have made a journal and you're not super crazy with how it turned out, it's just sort of that little, perhaps a tiny bit of permission to say, you know what, just take it apart. Don't get caught up in perfectionism or, those sort of overthinking things that we tend to do. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am certainly a recovering workaholic perfectionist. And there would have been times where I don't know if I would have thrown it away, but I would have considered the fact that I had, quote unquote, screwed it up to be a big deal. And that's a story for another day. Perfectionism that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so really the goal here is just to be like, hey, if you don't like it, then take it apart and see where you can take it in a new direction, right? Okay, so what I did was I cut out some new pages, some new paper, and I took out all of the copy paper. Oh, wait, I gotta get into the frame here. All of the pages that I had used, that I basically copied on my printer, I took them out because I felt they were a little bit thin. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use these to do the actual journaling on, and then I will tuck them somewhere. I'm not a fan of my handwriting. Speaking of perfectionism, it's something that I have to work on, which is not hating the sight of my own handwriting. It's like, oh, calling Dr. Freud, right? Like, oh my God. Anyhow, that is a conversation for another day. So I thought, I had these lined up, but I just decided I'm just going to use this as actual note paper. So I have quite a stack here, but that's okay. I just decided to kind of go with the idea that I was going to have more of the thicker paper, try that out, see how it goes. Let's see where this takes us. So I found this, and this is a little shout out to my friend Barbie, who is very inspirational to me. She's of Nellie and Ruth Designs, and I've loved watching her videos so far over the past few weeks, and she inspired me to really get on this channel and make something happen. So a little Italian there for Barbie. So thank you, Barbie, for helping me and inspiring me. So here we have most of the original, of course, pages from the first journal. And then I just added some bigger, longer and wider pages in here as well. So I like this much better. I like that it is flatter. I like that I have different sized papers to work with. Okay, here's a little sidebar secret that not too many people know. My husband bought me a teeny tiny little child's accordion for Christmas. I have secretly wanted to learn how to play the accordion for a very long time. And this year Santa brought me an accordion. I will show you at some point. I have no idea how to play, like none. I have no idea. I used to be able to read music years and years and years ago. I played the clarinet in high school, back when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth as well. And so I know it's in my brain. I know how to read music, and I read music for years. So I'm going to try and dig that back out again. So stay tuned. But anyway, so that's why we have this here. And I am a big fan of polka, I have to admit. So yeah. So nothing super exciting, as you can see. I've kept it pretty plain because, yeah, I want to, you know, do some stenciling and get out all my stamp pads and my stamps and just finally use so many of the supplies that I have purchased over the past few years, and have some fun. I mean, you know, part of my issue really is that I struggled with trying to make the perfect journal because I watch so many other women here on YouTube, and they make these amazing junk journals, and they make it look really easy and effortless, and they're just like, oh, ta-da! And it's perfection, and obviously that's practice and becoming a lot more comfortable with what you want out of a journal. But sometimes I'm frustrated by how perfect everything looks, and that everything looks like it's so easy, and you know, you don't have to worry about making mistakes. I'm full of mistakes. So anyways, that's part of what this channel is going to be about, is the fact that I'm not perfect, and I think it's helpful to watch people make mistakes as much as it's helpful to watch these beautiful junk journal videos, where women work in them, and they use all their supplies perfectly, and everything looks gorgeous at the end of half an hour, and yeah. Okay, so then the back, so that's the only downside with these spiral bindings, at least the one that I have. I have to turn it over like this. So I made the cover, the back, just a little bit longer to give it a little bit more stability, and this way I can still use the elastic around here like that. So there you have it. That's it. That's my redoing of my winter journal. So let's see where it takes us. I will come back and do some updates and show you and let you know how I feel about this. Right now I'm happy with it. I don't have any complaints, which is quite shocking for me. So let's see where it takes us. So thank you very much for watching and spending some time with me. Have a great day. Happy junk journaling, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to say like and subscribe, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here and your comments and your support. It means the world to me, and it really helps give me confidence as I'm starting out on this whole YouTube journey. So thanks a bunch, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye. Oops, no, down here. Okay. Bye.